to get into playoffs. What do they need, Demo?
7-1, more or less, because we know that Fnatic BDS, someone's taking points, so it's going to displace them nonetheless. Oh my. Oh dear, oh dear. That's not the start that you want to see. It's Stompn with an absolutely brutal swing, and it's all came crashing down for Macko within a minute. Uh-oh.
Well, okay. There's still 2 players left alive. A 2 versus 4. What do they have? IT breach. Oh,
Okay.
Now it's 3 for Stompn. And it might be 4. No, Blaz will get that last one. But hey, that's a way for us to start. A Stompn triple kill, all from IT breach, I believe. Just swinging out with this SMG. Uh-oh. Are we going to see what we saw earlier on?
Oh dear. I mean, that was... You blinked and it was over. Quickest round we've had tonight. Not even a question. And that's saying something, considering how that cafe was earlier against Falcon and Wolves. So yeah, things are not starting well for Macko. That is... yeah, that's a round that didn't really happen in their books, I think.
I think they're sort of there like... Wait, what do you mean it says 1-0 at the top? Wait, we've played a round? That was his third, but he was just crouched and tucked, waiting for that last engagement. False start. What else can you sort of write that off to, right? As I said, that was the site they found success on last time round. Seemingly.
Yeah.
The game's up a little bit there.
I think they pulled the clutch up too fast.
5 seconds to insertion.
Stalled her.
It happens to all of us. I mean, I guess that's the thing about Macko last split, right? It was fair to sort of call them a surprise factor.
Oh, yeah. I think they were a very brave team. I think they were a team that didn't really care who they played. They treated everyone equally. I don't think necessarily pressure got to them at any points being the new team. I think that was actually something that they wanted to live up to. But maybe is it the case of this stage coming into it, everyone's gotten used to how the new side plays? Because I think that honestly, it had to have done something being the new team that maybe teams inside of EML aren't used to playing against their style of Siege, which is very off-the-cuff, aggressive, in your face. And maybe it just takes teams, you know, just that extra stage to get used to it. And that's where Macko have maybe had a lot of the issues that they've had this stage.
I think one of the things, though, to sort of change as well in their comparison of how they did last stage was Macko won the games that they could have won, struggled in the games against the top dogs, had losses against sort of Falcons, a big loss against Secret, and lost against G2 as well. Breaking the top of the table sort of showed itself in the playoffs, where they could only really get one map across the 3 games that they played and the 3 best-of-3s that they played. And that was about it. So they've got to try and beat their demons and beat the demons of the EU and MENA region. Now as the fight seemingly pushing them further and further out the building. I mean, Raiden has the kit right now, and he's slowly being encircled by Stompn, who just wants to keep killing people. Fair enough. Agri does at least get Alamau, so one of the support structures gone, but they've lost the Ram demo on what is a vertical site.
Yeah, G2 not going to give them ease of access into the building. Stompn wins that against the pre-fire of the DMR, something we don't see happen all too often. But G2, this roam has worked out oh so well for them. Like you mentioned, they've been able to take out the soft destruction operator, being that Ram. And now G2 can just go back to site. They can just sit in their hands. I mean, Lyra's still going to stay upstairs and play a bit of a rat position inside of Garage, but now thanks against actually going to double up. This is what it's all about for G2. I mean, Doki's obviously called him and said, I'm going to push up cargo stairs. Didn't even need Lyra. Kills both of them with a shotgun. Again, just so easy for G2.
There's almost an element where they might even call a timeout this early. Because this is the worry when we talk about these pressure conversations, right? This is the worry when we talk about when things go. There it is. As I said, it's happened. Everything is falling apart right now. They're in a prolonged engagement inside kitchen with their diffuser carrier of Ram, and they cannot find a way to offer some support there because there's these other engagements happening in the sort of reception area and in these positions where Macko just weren't able to help each other. And at that point, G2, the fact that they're just swinging out and up and bigger, bigger, bigger on their defense is just... You have to stop that early and sort of mental reset at that point.
Yeah, Macko looks stunned. Have not got into a single position where they can even look at and execute. The top floor, all they did was open up the breach, and that was it. You look at that attack in particular, they didn't even make it to the other side of the map where all the vertical work was happening. They only really got themselves into kitchen and lobby. I mean, they're just... G2's just saying, you're not getting
Bomb
in.
located by attackers.
Yeah. Not tonight, pal. You know, they're the bouncers, you're not getting in. Not with those shoes.
Yeah. I mean, there's just obvious elements towards it where things are spiraling away very quickly, and you cannot have that happen again. We've seen what happens. And it's almost like the elements of... Stompn's off to a blinder, no two ways about it. Doki gets the 2K swinging up the stairs there, but the fact that Stompn was just sort of roaming around like, where's my next engagement? Okay, cool, thank you. It says sort of a lot about the chaotic energy that they're happy to bask in. Here, on towards a site that's sort of in a way a must-win, really, at this point, but what are they going to change up?
I mean, for Stompn, I'll be honest, I might send him a thank you card. Honestly, he saved my team. He has. So I'm very thankful for him.
Is he on the back of the shirt? You've crossed out Doki and written Stompn.
Laura's still my favourite. And there you go. That's why he opened up with the first pick. A blitz is in, but it's against the Warden. Oh, a messy engagement from Paul. Oh my word, Laura.
Never left the shirt.
Yeah, that's what I mean. This is why this guy's on the shirt. What's going on?
I mean,
like, what is this?
It's a worry in the kindest way of putting it. Okay, does almost get the kill on towards Stompn, but the location of themselves is revealed. The catch will be a quad there for Loira. Will he open with an ace here after their timeout? He's going to go hunting for the kill. It's the spray around either side. No, you can't run away, but maybe you shouldn't have hot-footed the chase, but I get it. You want the ace, and you may as well try and take it before one of your many talented teammates kills them instead. Alamau's just outside the building at this point, opting for some pressure. This, after your timeout, into this as well, means that the pain of this round is now going to go on for a bit longer. There is a chance that obviously Akwi can try and put this one together. He's been able to get vertical, but he'll make noise when he hops over this. Well, that alone will be making some noise, so they know exactly where he is. And what's that in two of their pockets? Oh, it's C4's demo. And they're ripped run ready. There's the drop onto a single player. As the first C4 misses, but the other player has rotated their way up, so Blaz is now above as well. A minute. Can he isolate this second kill? Does he know? No, is the answer.
Yeah. Again, 1v2. I mean, Alamau over-peaking. No, you're telling me Alamau over-peaked? Couldn't be.
What?
Couldn't be him.
No. What? No.
Yeah, just that's Carl doing Carl things, but still, you know, two players alive. That mirror window, obviously an issue for him. Just couldn't get through that. Didn't have the HP either. I think that also puts you under a bit of pressure. Yeah, the timeout comes in, Emmy, and they've just attempted a storage rush for the Blitz.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, what operator usually holds storage? A Warden. And the Blitz had an absolute nightmare. But one thing that I want to highlight is how quickly G2 came to his aid. Yeah? Stompn in the thick of it. Fighting up against the Blitz. Yes, he's a Warden, but still, shield can push you over. It's still tricky to deal with. And Loira was on it straight away. You know, Stompn calls for help. Loira doesn't even think twice. Straight in. Gives his teammate, you know, that assist. Did you see that as well? Lolo had no idea. Lolo actually just ran straight into him. We completely missed that. Wow. That's quite the lineup. But still, point is there. G2, they help each other. They never leave each other out to dry.
Deploying jammer.
At this point, 3 rounds on a spin, and you're sort of in a bit of a downward spiral. The mirror's been banned alongside the double hard breach. Deniers, fine. It will give them a little bit less that they can sort of opt and swing on the back of, and you know, it's an operator that we've seen play 2 of the 3 rounds, but the Clash of Blaz is still around. So they'll be more than happy to maybe cycle that in elsewhere, but that's not really the core of the problem, right? It's those keepers, it's the way Laurie is positioning these aggressive places, it's the fact that G2 is refusing to let them into the building. And at that point, Macko need to just find somewhere to have a safe footing. Do they go back to something a bit slower and steadier? Get the breach here on towards connector side, then swing IT, and then focus on that rather than what was a full send IT, I think.
New magazine.
And as you put it, the quickest round we have seen of the day.
Well, see how this wants to play out now for Macko. Hopefully they just don't lose players on the breach this time, which obviously it was a bit of an issue whenever players are just losing their lives instantaneously as soon as the walls get opened up. You can see that certainly Macko, much more safer approach. You know, they're not sticking their head into the breach this time. They're going to do the drone work first and then see if they can use their util to assist them, of course. Wall will be reinforced up inside of connector. And that shouldn't be an issue because they still do have a thermite, Emmy, so do keep that in mind. There is still a way in for Macko via the connector. I think obviously that the clash is going to be a big issue as it is for most teams. You need to make sure that you've got a way of dealing with the clash, and the way that I can see that they have is going to be the Capitao. So making sure that Teb can use that util at the right time to disable that shield is going to be key for me this round.
Oh, they have their eyes on towards the breach, and the bees will give them the freedom to make the move, force the clash further back, and get this opened up. You can see the roof is being opened, but too little, too late. The breach will get cemented, and there's not going to be the pressure that comes over the top of it. The clash, though, still holding on to at least the wider position. They can't just full send a single place, and they could try and use the Capitao bolt over the top of the electric box to force them out. But there needs to be something else elsewhere, and with every player still standing, there's almost the opposite split of this. The pressure here has to once again come across IT, and there's one. Oh, there's not two! But there is a kill that pops off elsewhere. Sololo has to keep trying to drive. It's traded out again and again. G2 just held firm.
Yeah, good little off pause there from Doki. Should have had two. Certainly got the first one, but that second one, that SMG had some kick on it. Doki just could not secure it, but everyone else held firm. They won their engagements. Again, another round, Emmy. That was always going to be G2's. You know, never looked in doubt. I will say that's probably the closest that we've had from Macko to an actual execute of a bomb site, but still not working for them. That clash inside a connector is always going to be a big issue. We're aware of that. I said before, it all comes down to how well Kev is going to use his util to deal with that clash. He has used the fire arrows over towards rafters. You know, that clash was just sat inside a connector. The person who came in the connector was just, he was never going to win that against the shield. You know, just util not being used in the right way. I don't see the point of going over towards connector side and trying to clear that part out, and then using the util dump over towards rafters. You know, why are we not just fully going in for the one side? Just go for the one side off the map. You're trying to do too much, it feels like. And whenever you're a team like Macko, where you're even struggling to get just a general execute onto the board, Amy, why are they trying to go for Split Fury?
I mean, is it desperation? Is it just hoping? We've had rush rounds, we've had slow split theory rounds, we've had the sort of ideas round, but unfortunately, sometimes these elements against these bigger teams, the same conversation I had before about this roster, is these are the games that they struggled with. Not sure what falls apart for them and why it works so well against other teams, whether it's just the confidence in the guns rather than the motions or not. You know, with 4 rounds deep, Dora, the person you sort of highlighted as having a life game yesterday, unfortunately not quite able to replicate the same. Can't entirely peg this on a single person, but it's the sort of modicum of that bigger problem, right? When they have that much confidence to go big and not go home, unfortunately that's not always continued. Stompn though, sure is. 4 kills, 8 rounds, no deaths. No, other way around. 8 kills, 4 rounds. The other one is nowhere near as impressive. 4 kills, 8 rounds. It's like, oh, good job.
4 kills, 8 rounds. Wow.
4 kills, 8 rounds.
I mean, might be good for you in your ranked games, but
yeah,
in EML, we have a bit more of a higher standard, of course.
Yeah, I'm well happy with that.
Yep. Again for Macko, just G2 not allowing the map control. You know, simple as that. G2 put up a fight, and Macko just looked terrified. They don't want to take these engagements. Look at the clock. A minute 15. They've made no headway in the grand scheme of things on this attack. G2 still happy to sit where they are. No pressure being applied. I mean, I'm waiting for Doki, who's coming in for the flank now on the alibi. Is this going to work out for him? No, it's not. There's Lolo holding that long angle. Also covers the stairs of that angle. But again, it's fine. A minute left. They have not made any foothold into Stompn and co.
Well, Doki's in the all chat. And Stompn is in every single player's DMs with a handful of bullets. Another kill for his tally. I mean, you can see the energy just in his cam. He's absolutely feeling it right now. Wants to try and go for the Deagle swing. He's 10-0. So why not? It's a 3 versus 2 situation. He's finally killed. Raiden finally ends the man. Can they get the round? There's one. The second the call came through, so it's now just Dora alone. Will have to replicate what his other teammate did. Gets one more kill, but think of the site, think of the kit, think of who's left, and think of where Blaz is with 3 smoke canisters. It ain't happening.
Yeah, I mean, Macko just cannot get anything going. They've tried the exact same approach for that basement attack. They're looking to try and clear from the mid floor across, not even attempting to open up breaches. I mean, that's crazy as well. I mean, Blaz must be so bored, really, for both of those rounds. He had seen no one. He is just sat in the bomb site doing nothing because he doesn't need to do anything. His roamers are just out there having fun. I mean, really, I think some of these kills as well, you know, Doki gets called out because Doki's bored, so he's went for a flank. You know, Stompn, let's be honest, was trying to clip farm them. You know, that's where we are. You know, that's where we are for Macko. Like, some of the kills they're getting is just down to G2. They're bored. That's where we are.
Attack pause. At this point, yeah, right. It's, you know, it's the thing about leagues and intensity, and it's a much wider conversation of when is a league at its best, or as a fan of a region, when is it at its best? Is it when the teams are really competitive from the bottom to the top, so you think, oh, everybody in the league's good? Or is it when you have your Falcons and your G2 and your top 1 and top 2 teams have games like this, where, as you said, they're not being forced to the edge of their seat today. Blaz could have called in sick a couple of these rounds, right? Stompn is having an absolute barn burner. Brilliant. 10-1 over 5 rounds. At this point, though, it's like, you know, what do you kind of want? Do we think G2 are being tested, or is this a benefit to see our top teams at the end of a season start to just really demonstrate why they're so good, Demo?
Yeah, I think Falcons and G2 obviously being the 2 heavy hitters that we have inside of the league. I mean, not trying to discredit Secret as well. I still think they're a massive team that we also have inside of our region, who just have maybe had a little bit of a slump this stage. But certainly for G2 and Falcons, this is how you want to kind of build up that momentum going into playoffs, is go in there in the last play day where, I mean, for Falcons, obviously there was a lot on the line. I suppose now looking back at it, Falcons could have lost today and still qualified, because obviously Genji had lost their game, but we didn't know that at the time. For Falcons and G2, it's about going in there and making a statement. You know, saying, don't take us to Cafe if you're Falcons, don't take us to Labs if you're G2. Go out there and put in a show. You know, make a bit of a statement. Win. Go out on a high in the groups.
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
Sophia mentioned that I remind her.
Well, we're back in, and it's 5-0, and I feel like we don't have to mention that Macko's hopes of getting into playoffs are gone. They needed to win with a round sort of boon in their favor. That was lost about 4 rounds, 5 rounds ago. So at this point, playing for the points and playing to put a bit of distance on the overall board, right? They're still 21. They're 6th place. in the end-of-year playoffs, but BDS still to play later on today, and they're on 19. They could absolutely leapfrog them if they pull a 3-0 later on. Fnatic, they wouldn't be able to close that distance, so all of the faith of that is being broken in, but BDS could also technically, if they just get an OT win as well, that works fine for BDS too, because they then beat them on the round difference.
Go on, ready.
So we keep on rolling on through. What has to change here, really, for the side of Macko? Because what can you change? There's the elements of, I've talked about how, you know, you have star players, as we said, you have Dora having a big game yesterday or the day before or whatever. Raiden and Dora weren't on any kills before the start of the previous round. Alamau hasn't got anything this game, but he hasn't needed to because of what the rest of the team is doing.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, Stompn, 10 and 1. The one death came from him trying to deagle people. And then he responds
12 and 1. 12 and 1.
Yeah. I mean,
sorry.
How? Where? Who? What happened? Okay.
Akri gets Blaz. Good job. Akri gets Doki. They're throwing themselves out the building. There's, I don't know, I got a kill. Maybe when I talk about, every time I've talked about a player who doesn't have a kill, a couple more kills, but I mean, what a game Stompn is having. This is...
I don't even know where he got the kill from.
It's just Dura Z4.
It's rookie. You need to win. Yeah, all those other names that I mentioned won trophies. He hasn't yet to do that. So I think you'd expect G2 to be at the major just based on how they play. That could be a big one for him. You know, I think that's where we need to then have another conversation. But right now, still a long way to go.
10
I think
seconds left
you need to
before
win.
insertion.
Need to win trophies. That is how success is measured.
5 seconds to go.
So Stompn currently almost has
Attackers are moving
as many
out to
kills as
locate a
the
bomb and
entire
defuse it.
opposing team after 6 rounds and has faced one test of his mortality. There's only so much you can really say, but it's not over yet. It's a game of 2 halves. When we had this exact scenario earlier on and Falcons got 6-0, no, they're just going to send it in. They're off to the races. There goes Alamau on the shield. Blaz cannot get the plant secured, but Alamau has done the divide. There's the spray of the blitz. They're inside the site, and they're just going to keep pushing. It's the right move. Get yourself in a position so when they go for the retake, you can stop them down. Stompn is now the one going for the plant. More smoke canisters, more blinds, and a bit more coverage. It's Loira above that's making things impossible to get it locked out.
Wow.
There's the drop of the shotgun. There's the follow through on the next. Oh, he's just popping them like candy. 3-2. The plant is secured. They're outside the building. He said we have the quickest round as our opener of this game demo. We might have the quickest game and another quickest round. Having to tear their way through their own castles, ready for a swing. Stompn, I mean, hit him with the GG already. There's 13-1. Just about got him. What an unbelievable, strong performance from G2.
Yeah, just wow, everything about that take. I mean, you lost Blaz. There's Cat. We lost Blaz early on, but the way that they're able to recoup, Alamau pushing deep, Loira above. Wow, phenomenal from him. Him and Stompn. What a duo in that game. Brilliant between both of them.
Well, what a very, very quick show we had. So why not throw to a quick break before we're back with the desk, probably to talk about that cat with Milosh.